And so I'm going to just begin and want to welcome everybody to Chakra Nova. This is the first of a 7-part series that is going to commence between me, Prime Harmonic, and Dark Serpent. And every month, we're going to address each and every chakra. We're going to relate it to the body. We're going to give you the supplements, and we're going to give you the knowledge surrounding the chakras. Now, I've been through this actual process, and now I'm just sharing this actual process. And then beyond that, I'm sharing it in an aspect where I'm adding prime harmonic to actually give us the meditation necessary. And another thing that I would like to say, if you don't know, I will be giving you a copy of the workbook PDF, but I will order physical copies of the PDF. So if you look at the PDF, you like, damn, I want to have this book like at like at home. Be sure to email me. I need your shipping address and I'll ship you one free of charge. As long as the shipping charge ain't too crazy, Sabine will be sure to get those books off to you guys once they're in production. They're actually in production now, but I'm not sure when I'll have them in hand to begin to send off. And so you have the textbook, but then there's also a coloring book that I bought and decided to kind of share with everybody in the group, just centered on your affirmations, but also just giving you something more tangible to go along with the class. And then I'm going to separate the meditation. So if you don't want to listen to the class, you just want to listen to the meditation, that would be an option for you as well. And finally, I'll be adding you to the Slack for one, to note your experience, to ask additional questions as you listen. How does this relate? And all of these types of things. And so to the nutshell of this presentation or this education is going to be found within the textbook. However, this is just kind of an introduction to the textbook and giving you any questions initially, but there'll come more questions. So that's where the Slack has its value. And from there, let's just begin. So once again, welcome to Chakra Nova. And a lot of people might say, what is Chakra Nova, right? And it's very specific what my purpose is in this actual conversation. So chakra is something that I'm relating to the body. Nova is something that I'm relating to the body as well. I'm not necessarily talking about an esoteric point of contention or, well, I don't necessarily agree with that, those particular aspects. And that's cool to disagree in the space of you have actual knowledge and research to go against it. However, I'm not saying it as a term of belief. I'm talking in the same way as blood flows through your body or drinking water. It's just a very simple natural process, and the natural is the spiritual for me. So chakras are very touchy and very sketchy in understanding, because one would say it's a spiritual concept, but I'm under the belief that spirit comes before the physical. So when you say it's a spiritual concept, then that means that it's a foundational concept that I need to understand. In Nova, the etymology is a star that suddenly increases in brightness, then slowly fades. Novus, new, used with star. And me, as an etymologist, I understand that the word star is not completely foreign to the concept of a human being, because human beings have what is called astrocytes. And this new is the understanding of the astrocyte. And the star, you know what I'm saying, is the astro. So within our human body, we have star cells. And to realize this real star cells and where they're located in your central nervous system, when you activate your chakras, you're able to see this new aspect of yourself. And so I'm just going to read some scholastic things that I see in reference to what I'm going to be talking about with this actual presentation. And then from there, I'll just continue with my presentation. So the purpose of this course is to activate your chakras. And so chakra nova would be a new chakra or a new realization of your spiritual center or a spiritual awakening. So this is the details of a spiritual awakening. Astrocytes are the most numerous cell within the central nervous system, and they perform a variety of tasks, and they control the blood-brain barrier and blood flow. The vagus nerve is a part of the central nervous system, and this is what we call kundalini. And it winds down into a snake and into the base of your spine. And to activate these actual nerves is an actual process. And what this process is found in like conscious circles is kundalini awakening. And to understand the vagus nerve is that you have to understand the parasympathetic system. Some of the questions that come up in my work is I have a hard time meditating. Well, you normally would have a hard time meditating if you don't understand the left and right hemispheres of the brain and how they work together, as well as working together with your central nervous system. And with all of this information, what does it boil down to? It boiled down to the fact that you have control of your reality. However, if you are perpetuated with subconscious fear, fear of stability, fear of status, fear of losing your job, fear of terrorist attacks, fear of losing money, then that keeps you in a sympathetic nervous system where you are constantly stressed about things and you're constantly trying to figure it out, and your back is against the wall, fight or flight. These kind of concepts make it hard to activate and really see this Kundalini awakening. So hopefully over time and through understanding the workbook, developing the particular habits, you'll be able to activate your root chakra. So what we're going to talk about in this slide is just some fundamental concepts around the root chakra, and then we'll get into more of the scientific bodily functions. But when you crack open a book and get on YouTube and Instagram or Facebook or Google, you tend to get basic understanding. And so with these basic understandings, I'm going to try to explain a deeper mystery behind it spiritually. So the reason why we're talking about this is because it is in the word, Mula Dahara. Mula meaning root, Adhara meaning foundation. So when we reference a spiritual journey, the first thing that we get into the spiritual journey, we're trying to maximize our life. We're trying to better ourselves. We're trying to think about all of the personal things that we need and can benefit within the spiritual journey. And it doesn't have to be physical. It could be emotional. We want to have friends. We want to have all of these particular things. And that is not the root or foundation to the spiritual journey. And say, for instance, that is your goal, then that is not a strong structure. Because say if your primary purpose is to manifest money, and that is your foundation or structure, if you lose money, then the whole building is compromised. So in me teaching the root chakra is me telling you that it's very important to just simply know or to simply connect, because whatever your root purpose is, whatever the root is to your energy, is highly expansive and beyond your conscious mind. And if that is your root or your foundation, then that's what you'll begin to manifest. Certain humanistic concepts are hard to implement within the root chakra. And if you are able to implement a concept of abundance and vastness and massive connections to extraterrestrial beings and so forth and so on. This is what your reality will be. However, if you are rooted in fear, then that's what your structure will look like as well. So it represents the womb, the lowest part of the spinal column, the foundation for all life. So for me, this is in mythology where they have Eve, Lilith, uh, even like Pambagera, all of these primordial goddess energies that represent a prostitute. However, that's just a misnomer on the energy. See, when you reference a prostitute, you're referencing sex, meaning that you're referencing a womb. And a womb is a modality or a point of creation. So if your womb is considered a prostitute, it's considered evil, it's considered negative, then it's going to be hard for you to actually manifest or create the reality as you actually would want it to be at an esoteric sense. So it's really important then to understand that when you look at the world and the earth and think about it in the realms of agriculture, we're actually planting a garden right now. And I'm looking at the corn stalks and it's beautiful. They're so green and smooth and beautiful. They're beautiful. And what makes it even more beautiful is that a little seed months ago. But it's amazing that when you plant the seed underground in the womb of creation, something beautiful happens. You can't figure it out. You can't narrate it. You can't put a science on it. However, you can just be disconnected from it altogether and be completely upright in the way that you look at life, completely logical at the way that you look at life, but completely disregard the bottom half of the Kalipah. A lot of people ask me, well, do you get into the Kalipah for the dark side of the tree? And it's like, I come from that. You know, I can't begin to understand the magic of the earth. So as an esoteric science or an esoteric beginning of grounding, you get what you want. If you are not connected, then you will feel disconnected and you will want things and desire things and need things and feel like there's something out in the world for you. But what I'm trying to establish is that what's for you is already exists in the bowels, in the pits of the universe. So in understanding the symbolic nature of chakras, we uncover the subconscious code that bring about self-realization. So what I really want to speak to is the symbology, the visualization, and the steps necessary. And the steps are just the conscious, repetitious understanding that you are connected to one of the greatest sources in the universe, and your awareness is the only thing that needs to change. Because once your awareness change, so does your desires change, but you have to understand that you have to put the horses in front of the carriage in order to get somewhere. However, if you have the carriage in front of the horses, it may seem like there's a big problem with the universe. There's a big blockage and somebody is evil and negative stopping you. And I would agree, but I would say it is your realization or your awareness to the symbology and the codes of the universe for which you can bear witness to if you would just simply garden. And it's different when you watch another person's garden. You have to garden for yourself to realize the power of what I mean when you are connected to the root chakra. Now, the Muladhara chakra or the root chakra could be seen as an anchor or a deep root. Now, to that may be seen as something to hold you back. But on the contrary, our roots allow us to grow and expand. So when we're referencing the tree of life, we're referencing a limit. When you're referencing the root chakra or the Kalipoth or underground or hell. Hell is based off Helena. Helena is the energy for which Troy collapsed Greece, ancient Greece, and this just represents the divine feminine. And so the divine feminine, when you go to church and you say, well, why isn't there no holy mother? There is a holy mother. It's hell, it's sex, these particular things. And if we are, if you, so even in conscious conversations, you could get into concepts of good and evil as if they really exist. There are just seeds that are planted versus seeds that stay in their packet. Same potential, but it needs to be connected to the root energy of the earth. You may be confused that like there's a block to your manifesting, but there is no block other than your simple awareness. So simple things like immersing yourself into nature with a conscious understanding with what you're looking at. You are in the midst of manifestation, in the process of manifestation. But if you just see a tree, if you just see a bush, if you just see wildlife and green life and things of that nature, then you're missing the point. All of the abundance and the growth that you see around you is because that energy has been deep rooted and anchored into the soil. And subconsciously, mentally, emotionally, physically, in every aspect of your life, you could do the same thing. So this is where you jot down a question. How can I connect to the root energy if it doesn't make sense to you yet? So in this life, we want to remove any tension and blockages. Also, we want to awaken dormant energies in our root chakra. We want to awaken these dormant energies and let them rise to the surface. Because the reason why it's so demonized and the reason why it's so scary is because your limitations, your lack is being removed. So there is no excuses once you awaken your kundalini. You're awakening a cosmic intelligence. And the conversation that you have, I'll do you one better. So if you have a computer and it's not plugged up and you're expecting it to do the things that you want it to do, you're expecting the things to be what you want it to be, but it's not plugged up. You want it to run Windows. You want to get on Facebook. You want to check your bank account. But that computer can't do none of those things, but you spent $1,000 on it. And you're like, damn, this is some faulty ass equipment. However, when you plug it up, you no longer have those concerns. So just take that in a concept of your life and your spiritual development. If you already know what you're trying to manifest, that's the same way as a computer running without it being plugged up. It's going to operate completely different once it's plugged up. It's going to have a whole different set of intentions. So when you awaken these dormant energies, try with your best ability to act as if you know or don't know exactly what's happening. All you know is that you're connected and that you're awakening up a cosmic intelligence, not through theory, but through practice. So as we go through this slide, I'm getting into more of awakening those dormant energies, what it looks like, what it feels like, and how to respond to it. And if you leave this without no actual applicable tools to activate your kundalini, then I did a bad job. Because that's my whole intention, for you to leave this whole situation with an application. And so the guarantee of manifestation and the awakening of these dormant talents and ability is going to happen once the work is activated. It's a guarantee. It's not something that I'm hoping that might happen for you, that type of thing. I know for a fact that your latent abilities, talents, psychic energy, whatever you want to call it, is going to be fully activated. But if you are in a negative emotional state and your psychic abilities activate, there's nothing that I can do about that either. So it's very important for you to be happy, and joyous, and positive vibrations as your energy activates. Because as you say, it shall be. And as you feel, you will attract. So after the supplements, after the visualizations, after the meditations, after the application, you should feel grounded and connected to the spiritual energy that exists around you. It's not just for the trees and not for you. It's not just for the plants and not for you. It's not just for the animals and not for you. It's for you too. Our ancestors created a whole system and lifestyle that has existed in some form or fashion that would allow us to exist to this day by working with this energy. The difference between us and them is that we're completely disconnected from it and we suffer because of it, and that's just my personal opinion. So, in everything that I'm discussing, is there some scientific or is there some esoteric correspondence to it? Of course. In our understanding of our spiritual awareness and who we are, we imagine ourselves to be just one body. But there are many different bodies. We have a physical body, a tangible body, but we also have a body that you can bear witness to when you're dreaming. You still exist in a space of consciousness, but your body is not there. And even deeper levels of the dream world, you can fantasize right now and be in a certain place and exist in a body, but your physical body could be in a whole different place. Because we have a variety of bodies. And in esoteric sciences, they'll say you have 7. I say you have as many bodies as you deem possible. It's like multiplicity. But when you're dealing with the causal energy, meaning that you can make things happen without being there, this is what I'm talking about when you're activating your Kundalini. Because the causal body is made up of thoughts and ideas. So when you have particular thoughts of limits, and you have particular thoughts of I can't make it and I don't know what's going to happen, Trump this, Trump that, these are the causes for which you create. And this is the whole science of media, entertainment, and government, because they know human beings have a causal body. And since the human imagines himself to only have a physical body, the attack is never on the physical body. They don't have to come with guns and threaten you. And it literally, they can just show you images on your phone of people getting attacked. And you feel the same way. You didn't do research if it was fake or nothing. You just seen the image and had the emotional response. They know how your body works. Even better, they put out a 40-page report called the Gateway Process that could bear witness to everything that I'm talking about in this live. However, if you don't read the Gateway Process, it's declassified. And this is stuff that they was doing in the 70s and 80s. So it's only a matter of, and the reason that they study the human body and our psychic abilities, because they know that it will get to a time like this where we would know about this. And you wouldn't be reading it in a weird Kundalini book and you don't know none of the words that's being said. You just look at the cool pictures and might get a quote or two. Don't really feel it. But it's there, it's present, but nobody is really grasping what it's actually saying. And so within my work, I tried to get deep into what is this, what the hell is Kundalini and what is chakras? What are y'all talking about for English? And what I came to was that activating your causal body is activating or utilizing your God principle in action. You have as many bodies as you deem yourself to have. You could be here, there, and everywhere. However, if you only feel that you're a physical body and you can only be in your room, then you behind the curve. I'll do you one better. Some of you ladies been showing up in people's houses and things of that nature, seeing what's going on in people's houses. Oh, that's why I cleaned up around here, because I know we was on this Zoom and y'all wasn't just going to be viewing me through the camera. Y'all was going to be up in here like he talking all of this mess and look up under that bed. Yeah, I got under the bed too. Okay. So what I'm saying is this energy is already activated. This information is already out here. And if your awareness is to anything outside of yourself, then this conversation goes over your head. The causal body is that actual seed. And the seed combined with the grounding would manifest a corn stalk, would manifest a new job, would manifest a entire new life. But you have to understand that it has to be your application. It has to be your understanding. It has to be a finite focus of connecting. You got to be serious about this. And it's not about serious because I want you to be serious. You have to do the due diligence and the knowledge if you don't understand where I'm coming from. And begin to understand that it is you that are God, or else you would not be here. It is your awareness that is God. However, if your awareness is to imagining an authority, then that's what your reality will be. So the beginningless ignorance that is indescribable. This is you. When you were born, you don't know anything. We don't know anything. And then we look for information, and then we go to kindergarten, and it is a wrap. Okay? They tell us everything that they think we need to know. So when it comes to learning you and learning how this actually works, you need to begin to look within, understand your bodily processes, understanding your parasympathetic systems and your actual calm versus hyperactivity. And once you get into the space of relaxing and not worrying and being fully in tune into the concept of learning yourself 110%, you are now activating your kundalini, because you're saying, I am God, not through concept, not through conversation, but through action. You start to in tune into your central nervous system and see that fire that exists and connect to that. Oh, that's all of the questions. I mean, that's all of the answers to all of your questions, because you are a celestial being. That's why you like all of the consciousness and the quote unquote wokeness and things of that nature. First they told you from Africa, then they said you from somewhere else. Now they're telling you a whole bunch of information. And to digress to my original point is that we learn from other people who don't know shit and call it knowledge. So when you raise your kundalini, you are no longer seeking external validation, but you are validated by the energy that is surging through your body, because you know it's there. You've done the exercises, you took in the supplements, you've done the meditations, you did the visualizations, you put in the work to validate this information. Now, if you want to eat McDonald's hamburgers and, eat trashy and clog your arteries up and things of that nature, perfectly fine. But y'all know what time it is in this 2020 energy. You think they care about, if you don't think they care about humans, what do you think they care about the meat? And I'm not caping for vegetarianism, but you'll get the signs. You'll get the signals, and you can ignore them. And that's perfectly fine. And this is a process that maybe meat might be necessary for this process. Maybe it'll be a removal of meat that would be necessary for this process. But the idea is to activate your energy. And the easiest way is to not feel like you need meat to survive. You're going to get to a point that you feel like you don't need shit to survive. You need the same thing that a tree needs. You need the same thing that a seed needs. So what I'm referencing is cosmic intelligence. And as this cosmic intelligence rises through your body, it affects your mind. It activates this first subplane of causal bodies. And this is why it's really important to increase your happy thoughts. Watch comedy movies, watch the shit that make you happy. Don't raise your kundalini and watch Scarface at the same time. You might have problems. You might be really in some Scarface type scenarios. The reality is that we do it all day. The little people that I know, the little men, the young men that I know, they listen to trap and hip hop and gangster rap all day. Wake up, go to sleep, listen to it. Do that mean that everybody is going to turn into a little gangster? No. But do that mean some people is going to really adapt that personality that they see in their music? Absolutely. And once they adapt that particular causal energy that I'm a gangster, they start with a gun, they start with a rap, and it's on from there. And I say all of that to say, if you're not trying to get no gangster's energy into your life, deal with the energy that you're trying to attract, especially if you're doing kundalini work and you centered on raising your kundalini, because what tends to happen is your dominant feeling and emotion and actual visualization and affirmation. And another thing that I would like to talk about, in the textbook it talks about a lot, is your instincts and your desires. And the distinction between being in this, me throwing my pointer. So when you hear in birth, you're hearing birth. You don't know about all of this. Why don't you know about all of this when you down here? Because you somewhat ignorant. Like in the example of Lock and Key, we were just talking about this earlier, where the kid get the power. The first thing he do is go to the ice cream store. So that's what it's like when you ignorant and you know that you have this particular energy. So we think it's about the money, we think about the girl, we think it's about that, but it's really deeper than that. It's about tapping into this first subplane of existence, this higher mental plane of existence. When you down here, this is all you think that exists. But when you go into these upper energies in the dream world, lucid dreaming, but that's a level two. Beyond the lucid dreaming is the causal body. And this causal body affects everything that happens down here. But through the clarification and the awareness of all of this, now you shouldn't have any questions. If you outsource it and you thinking somebody is deeper than you think is better, that they better than you, then you saying that this person has this and I don't have it. Something is wrong with me. And that's not the reality. So I don't think I was done with that slide. So I guess, yeah, I am done with that slide. Thank you for pushing me, nudging me along, Spirit, because we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So one of the major differences is understanding your left and right brain hemispheres, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous systems. If you read that document that came out by the CIA, they call it hemisync. HEMISYNC. And hemisync is when your left brain and your right brain are not fighting. You didn't even know that your left and right brain was constantly fighting at all times, did you? Why would you? Because we've been taught by people who wanted to, trick us out of our energy and keep us controlled. The sympathetic nervous system releases hormones that inspire growth, and the parasympathetic nervous system conserves hormones which inspire protection of your cellular structure and also repair cells. These two systems do not operate at the same level at the same time. So when you are at rest, your parasympathetic nervous system releases hormones that promote rest and relaxation. When you are active, the sympathetic nervous system releases hormones that promote activity and growth. And so if we are trying to break that down, then that's really found in or overall aspect to spirituality. A person will say, Hood, I don't want to be lazy. I don't just want to sit around. But you telling me I gotta relax and listen to meditation music? I want some upbeat stuff, like y'all was saying earlier. But I'm not saying be chilling and relaxing and slacking on your responsibilities. No. I'm saying consciously put yourself at such a point of rest and relaxation that you allow your right brain or your parasympathetic nervous system to take over, your inner child to take over. The thing that blocks your inner child is stress. And in our society, stress is valued. I got 2 jobs, Hood. I do all types of stuff during the day. I'm stressed the hell out. I got a good ass job that stressed me the hell out. Paid me a lot of money, but it stressed me out. But I'm interested in this Kundalini thing. I'll pay whatever for the class. Hey man, it's better if you pour on the side of the road somewhere to get into this, because y'all jobs is gonna fuck y'all up. Y'all children, y'all relationships, everything you deem important is going to throw you off the sync because you'll allow it. So stress is going to block this flow of Kundalini, and the sympathetic nervous system is always going to be activated. You always in the go. You always thinking of solutions. One of the main things to law of attraction is not the how. So within this process of even grounding, you're like, well, how do I do that? And if I say, oh, you got to take these supplements. Oh, man, I ain't got enough money for that, Hood. I already paid you $23 for this class. Now you got to say I got to buy supplements. What else, Hood? What else I'm going to have to buy after that? And that type of energy. So, of course, whatever you do, make sure that it does not create stress, especially if you're trying to connect to celestial energy. The parasympathetic system allows one to mainly grow. The sacral parasympathetic fibers supply the rectum, bladder, and reproductive organs and nerves from the 2 lowest ganglia, and this is the Kundalini gland, and this is the Muladhara chakra. So the coccygeal, coccygeal body is what we're referencing when we're referencing the actual modality of Kundalini for each and every one of us. Conjugal. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere. So this is the Kundalini gland. For a person to say, Hood, I can't do Kundalini. It's too complicated. Such and such want too much for his course. I went to a lecture, that type of energy. So this is something that I'm referencing exists in all of us. Another word would be the perineal muscle. And when I get into the exercises, and when you do the exercises, and while you're doing the exercises is the background for everything that I talked about for this past 30 minutes. Where you trying to be like, well, I want to connect to the celestial cosmic energy too, Hood. What I got to do? Who I got to sign up with? And I say, well, you got to do these exercises. Straight like that. Because the same way, if you tell me, I want to get big muscles. See, and then you even got conscious people that say you don't even got to work out no more. You can just think about working out to get big. And I'm not signing up for that. If I want to work out and I want to get rid of this fat old tummy that I got, I'm going to have to bust my ass in some gyms. I'm not about to meditate on no exercise videos. I'll pass, okay? So when it comes to actually accessing your Kundalini, it's going to be more than you just thinking about it, fam, in the physical sense. Well, we can get into some metaphysical, spiritual, conscious mumbo-jumbo shit, and we can go crazy. No, you're supposed to cartwheel, Hood. That's how you access your Kundalini. You got to listen to Chingy and do the chicken dance. Whatever. So it can get really convoluted. But this is going to be really direct. So the conjugal body, right? Another body that we have that we probably don't know nothing about, right? Is an irregular, oval shape, gland between the rectal wall and the tip of the tailbone or coccyx. Another word would be the gooch. We all know what the gooch is. And this is known in Tantra as the Kundalini gland. And during an active Kundalini, you can feel the pulsation of the sacral parasympathetic fibers activating electrically, awakening your Kundalini. So if you go through this process and you don't feel the pulsation of this actual fibers, then you didn't activate your Kundalini. Try again. Keep working on it. Keep working on the locks. Keep exercising that energy. Hood, I don't know where my gooch is. Something, okay? I thought my gooch was on my knee, and I was tightening up my knee. Hood, I'm, and where I'm from, they call gooch a knee. It could be that, but we're gonna be real explicit. In between your sexual organs and in between your anus, I hope y'all can handle that, is your conjugal body. Chill for a second, Rob. Is your conjugal body.
The floor muscles.
Your pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor. Strengthening your pelvic floor. Women, they call it Kegels. Men, we got to do Kegels too. I'm not only a client, I'm the male Kegel president. It'll turn your sex game to a whole nother level. But that's another conversation. That's not why we're here. The conjugal gland is fed by sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. And the median sacral artery and vein directly influencing the nervous system via chemical messages arising from the blood. So, if you're not purifying your blood through your diet, through your supplement intake, and I'll give the supplements that I've been taking to activate my Kundalini and get my shit popping. And you can say, I don't want to take that. Or you can say, I'll try it. I'm not implying that you take it. I'm just telling you the shit that works for me. Okay? So basically, when you actually clear your blood out, purify your blood, hydrate your blood cells, then you in the process of activating your Kundalini, and that's just one part. A person can clear their blood and not activate Kundalini, but the next part that we're going to talk about is the actual exercise. And so we got the Bandha for women, and we got the Bandha for men, okay? The Mula Bandha, the Muladhara chakra, Bandha is just the root chakra lock, okay? And this means the root or base, and Bandha just means lock. So what is the purpose of this exercise in history? The purpose of this exercise is to stimulate your Kundalini Shakti energy at the very base of your spine, the gooch. So I'm going to run through this in details, but of course it's going to be written out on your in your workbook, in your textbook, however you want to describe it. We need to get used to, having textbooks for classes. This is how I learn, and this is how we should begin to teach, even if it's a 5-page document. Have something that a person can have tangible for your classes when y'all start, teaching classes and things of that nature. And I just say that to say you'll have this exercise in your book, but I'm going to go through it, and maybe y'all can do it now and practice while my man Prime Harmonic is doing the meditation. I don't know, it might work. So what you want to do is contract and relax your perineum muscles, or the very tip of your conjugal body. You don't want to lay down because you're going to ruin the actual effect. You want to sit in an erect meditative posture. You want to close your eyes. You want to rest your body. Breathe in and contract. See, what most people might do is contract and let it go. Contract and let it go without aligning it to your breath. So breathe in and contract your perineal muscles. Breathe out and release your perineal muscles. Repeat this 15 to 30 times. contract and hold the muscles throughout the breathing. It's really important to breathe, contract, breathe out, let it go. Release slowly, okay? Release slowly. Like over time, imagine it to be connected to your breath. And I'm going to do you one better. It is connected to your breath. It's connected to your breath, but when you disconnect it to your breath, it has it in a particular space of fear or ignorance, which is necessary because we would have just been buying ice cream. I would have just bought every CD. You know, I would have just been drowning in CDs. And then when MP3s came out, I'd have been, you know, stuck. I'd have just drowned in CDs. So it's like, I don't know what I wanted as a child. I'm barely in a space that I know what I want as an adult. So it's very important to really trust this process without wanting a particular experience. And so after you do the 15 to 30 intervals, the more advanced of this is to hold that perineal muscle through the breath. So breathe in and hold it, and breathe out, but still hold it. Breathe in, keep it held. And you want to do this as long as you can. And then slowly release it once you get to a point past comfort. And see that over time is going to activate your sacral chakra. I'm sorry, not your sacral chakra, but your sacral fibers in your Muladhara chakra. And once this takes place, you know for a fact that your Kundalini is activating. But if you start to be like, well, I want ice cream, I want sprinkles, you forgetting that your goal is not to externalize this energy, but to continuously internalize this energy, because that's how you get the fire started. It's like an engine being mad that it's an engine and it goes outside of the car because it's just tired of driving the car and making it go. So really understanding the purpose of spirituality and separating it from humanity is so, so very important. So what you want to do is really repeat this over time. And to add a visualization, you want to bring your mind's eye, your consciousness awareness. Your consciousness awareness is not your eyes. Let's be clear. Close your eyes, you still have consciousness, you still have awareness. Right now, we should be collectively bringing our conscious awareness to our gooch, right? Or our perineal muscle, or our root chakra. And once you do it as you're doing the Mula Bandha, now you have a spiritual context to an internal bodily sensation. So this is like a generator. A person may say, well, how long do I got to do this, Hood? I do it every day. I don't not do it. It's like, how long do I have to breathe? As long as I want to stay alive. So I'm going to breathe and connect my whole central nervous system to my brain and mouth and whole experience. Why would I be disconnected? Why would I say, well, I found the way of connecting. How long do I got to stay connected so I can go back being disconnected? That's not the goal. So if you're waiting for something to happen, they'll be the same thing as waiting for something to happen if you breathe. Right? The same thing is going to happen that's been happening. You're going to continue to stay alive. What we are doing, though, you might have to reverse back to the beginning of this lecture where we talked about activating the causal body. Okay? So perfecting the Mula Bandha comes with daily practice. There is no need to rush. There is no finish line. There's no certificate for having the most perfect Mula Bandha. My Mula Bandha activated my chakra on the first day. You know, that type of stuff, you know, is over time. So this is discussing Kundalini and what's necessary for this actual process to work. So I'll give you the supplements. I'll give you the exercises. You got your sacral nerve fibers activating. And if I don't give you this tip, it's going to burn you up. It's not going to give you nothing because you need to be balanced. And the balance is even found in the word Kundalini. So Kundalini is from the word Kunda. Kunda is translated into a bowl or water pot. And this water is the substance which allows life to occur. Meaning that if I place the seed in the ground right now and I do not water it, cancel the whole process. Everything I said, null and void. So if you not taking your water, drinking your water, not drinking Avion or Dasani tap water, we talking about real water, electrolyte infused water, something that's going to hit your cells, hydrate your cells, then you will dehydrate yourself. And this whole process will be, Hood told me to activate my Kundalini, and now, I can't even think straight. I can't even function. Have you been drinking your water? No, I don't be drinking water like I'm supposed to. I be busy. I don't really like the taste of it. Well, don't do nothing of what I just said. Just cancel this whole video if you're not trying to drink water. I mean that from the bottom of my whole existence. If you're trying to raise Kundalini and not trying to drink at least a gallon of water a day, maybe for medical reasons and things of that nature, water ain't good for you, whatever your doctor done told you, cool. You allergic to water, whatever, cool. Don't do nothing to what I'm saying. Please, 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 please. If you cannot drink at least a gallon of water a day, and that's the minimum, because we're talking about cellular hydration. And this is the preparation for Kundalini. This tells your body, oh, we're about to shift existences. We're about to change everything. So we need to be fully prepared once this Kundalini fire and electricity rises throughout your central nervous system, exciting and activating dormant cells and abilities that that you've never been aware of. So it's not simply about just drinking a couple of glasses of water. It's about hydration. So the research that's necessary on hydrating your cells, if you overlook that, then there's nothing that I can say, because you disregarding and disrespecting the core fibers of your existence. So a lot of people's stress right now in this moment is due to dehydration. A lot of people's diseases, pain, sicknesses, blockages, overall disconnections is found in the realms of dehydration. With activating Kundalini, it increases the rate of dehydration exponentially. So if you're not prepared through the preparation of water, then you become to be the dude, my man's over here, right? Instead of my man's here over here. He's calm, relaxed, but it's two sides of the coin. So it's more of a process of self-realization. And I'll tell you, I'll do you one better. You'll be able to meditate, and not like be able to meditate like you is blocked for meditate, but you don't meditate until you activate your Kundalini. That's why it's so hard to do. Because we're not plugged into a source that would even allow or even reference meditation, because our society depends on our logical mind to actually be accessed, our sympathetic nerves to be firing on all cylinders. I like Susie Sue because she come to work and she be with it. We don't like Susie Sue if she come back like, all right, y'all, I need to meditate for an hour before I start my shift because it keeps me zen and keeps me aligned and keeps me present. Susie Sue, we don't got time for that. You better get your ass on that goddamn production floor. You know what I'm saying? So in your personal time and space, when you are activating your root chakra and taking control of your causal body, give yourself time, fam. Don't be trying to rush it and hope that it's going to be something amazing and all of that. The most amazing thing that I can say that ever happened in this process is the concentration through the exercises and actually feeling my root chakra activate. Now, when I'm in the store, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, my root chakra is activating. And I look at my wife, she's like, yeah, my shit is activating too. I'm like, shit, that's crazy. And then something crazy happened. Like right there, it's like your spidey senses, man. This is real, but you might think it's a comic, okay? So what I've been trying to do for this actual presentation and as I'm coming to a close and opening the floor up for Mr. Prime Harmonic, is I wanted to bring your awareness to the cause of your life and not the effects. What I want you to know is that all of the effects in your life, whether positive or negative, is a result of the causes for which you are presently surrounded with, and not the other way around. If you a black person, it ain't the white man, and if you a white person, it ain't the black man that's holding you back. The only thing that's holding us back right now is ourselves, because we are in a cosmic spiritual awareness. And I mean no offense, because there is all types of evil, sinister energies, but the most evil, sinister energy, in my personal opinion, is a God that's unaware that he is actually God and letting this life pass him by without activating his inner modality of power and cause. Okay? So with this actual energy, you may have causes that are in conflict with one another, and they cause stagnation. So I want to go be with Jimmy, but I'm married. I want to go, I can't, so I just sit here and be miserable, right? You got causes that are in conflict. And when your cause is in conflict, when you don't wake up every day and do everything that you want to do at 100% acceptability, then you in trouble. I wake up every day, not to brag, but I wake up every day and I do exactly what I want to do. And I want to do it. And there are other things that I'm in the works of manifesting that I need to manifest. But sometimes when you don't have what you want, but you have a path to get what you want, that's really all you can really ask for, because you ain't going to have everything that you want off the rip. But if you can wake up and say, okay, I know I don't got it, but I know what I need to do to get it, and ain't nothing stopping me from what I need to get, okay, now your causes are in a line. In order to keep your causes in a line, you have to ground and activate your inner power without wanting specific outcomes. An outcome is an external vibration that's hard to resolve. An inner affirmation, an inner grounding, a core understanding of activating your root chakra is the inner process that you can feel. And it has a particular physical response that has the meditation and bliss and law of attraction. It's a bundle, okay? It's a bundle, and that's just a play on words. You know, I'm a freestyler sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's a bundled up, coiled up ball of energy, right? That we can begin to activate through electricity. And our electricity is found in our minds. Now, the speed that it takes for your mind to travel to your root chakra is going to differ between each and every individual. However, it's going to happen for all of us if we bring our awareness to it. This is an inner process, and it will have its outer effects. Okay, I hope I was clear on that. So earlier I referenced what it's like to have your carriages before your horses. What in the house, the man, the kids, the woman, everything, without knowing how to get it. Wouldn't that be frustrating to have a horse and a carriage and trying to get somewhere with the carriage in the front? As crazy as it sounds, I hear it all the time. I want to do this and do that. Well, what's the action plan? I don't know. I was coming to you. What? Okay. What we tend to focus on is our intellect. Well, I study, I read, I got all of the books. You should see my library. My library is spectacular. But I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to take all of these books and manifest a decent relationship or a decent house or a decent living environment. How I say, man, sell all them books to the half price bookstore and invest in your business. You know, the books is not going to save you. You are the book, okay? If you don't study yourself, but you know everything that every scholar knows and can teach, that is likening the carriage to be in the lead. I have a plethora of knowledge
knowledge that I could sit here and spew to you guys. But how is that going to get us to where we need to get? If you ground, if you, I'm gonna get into some actual modalities in a second here. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So I gotta keep it real with you. But it's very important that you actually ground as a way of life, not as a one-time deal. Okay, and grounding is the actual horse that will help you get the house, the crib, the love, the whatever. Whatever it is your soul desires, you got to figure out the actual modality to get it popping, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to get shit popping. When my cousin talked to me today about manifesting $100,000, I was like, okay, cool. I wasn't even tripping. He told me, man, it was because of your reading. I said, shit, how the hell my reading going to help you manifest $100,000 and I can't even manifest that shit for myself? That shit ain't, that shit don't, that shit feel crazy. But beyond that point, it's like, if you are able to manifest what you really want, see, and I'm not mad that he manifested $100,000 because I know for a fact that I can manifest that and more with my actual process, but that's beyond the point. I'm not focused on anything external. That's the difference between me. Everything that I reference is internal. I live off intuition. I live off the fly. If you know me, I say one day at a time. I give offerings to trees before I say hi to my children. With everybody, I have a real relationship with nature more than I have with human beings. People would tell you, man, that dude is crazy. He'd just go start talking to a tree. Man, it might be crazy, but to me, I can see the energy. I can see a tree wanting to say, man, I need a hug, man. Ain't nobody even noticed me. I just want a hug, And I done got blessed abundantly by giving trees hugs and offering trees food and giving food to nature spirits and things of that nature. So when one says, well, how do I ground and how do I, do all the things that you say? I say you have to be present and trust what your process is telling you. Now, Hood, what if my process is telling me I need to smack my baby dad? Should I just smack my baby dad, Hood? You said trust my intuition. And I'm just like, no. No, because we already programming ourselves for the best possible outcome anyways. And generally, we've programmed ourselves 10 steps ahead that our baby dad is in alignment of what we want anyways. So it should never get to that point where you're even thinking about smacking them. And if it is getting to that point, then it's like your psychic forces is not really working for you. If they get you in positions and stuff where you got to question, well, should I do this or should I go do this 20 years real quick? Your spirit ain't going to give you them particular choices. Now, when you are disconnected, and I can bear witness, you will have them type of solutions all the time. Should I run? Should I fight? Should I flight? Should I fight? Should I flight? Should I fight? Should I flight? And even now, however, the purpose is to ground and not even having to think about should I fight or should I flight. Right? That's the actual point. That's the actual point. So in all esoteric circles, all spiritual circles, they say, do not focus on the details. Right? So, Hood, well, what if this happened? Hood, what if that happened? Hood, da, 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 da. Do you have a goal? Act on that goal in the space of intuition. Maybe it's to take another class where you're learning how to advertise. Don't just say, man, I don't know shit about advertising. Oh, well, trust me, that was me for 3 years. And if you investigate advertising and you get good at advertising, then you will realize, shit, I don't even need to be friends with these people. I can advertise my product to the people who want to buy my product. and just pop shit like I need to pop shit because I'm not beholden to nobody besides my niche and besides the people who actually want to buy my products anyway. Y'all be caping the people who don't even like y'all. And then when y'all have a product, they don't even support y'all. So it's better to not focus on the, like, this is for me. It's better for me to not just try to deal with people on a one-on-one basis, but just more or less deal with my niche, figure out what works for me and the people that's on this particular vibration and frequency. As moments come, I figure out what's needed. I got an overall view of shit, but like I said, when you ground it and root it, you have a multitude of options. Intuition is how you differentiate what option you do take in, okay? And if you don't have an intuition, then you develop it through grounding. Where do you want to be? So even a corn seed has DNA programmed into it that if all you water me, meaning water me is the exercises, the water intake, the supplements, that's the actual process to manifest. However, if you don't know if you want to be a piece of corn, if you don't know if you want to be a turnip, if you don't know you want to be a goddamn beet, okay, then I ain't never seen a vegetable just be like, man, I'm just whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just whatever. What kind of fruit is this? Whatever. Nature don't work like that. Not to say that you have to label it, but you have to know what you want this end result to be. And this is the fun. However, this is the block because we've been so disconnected that we don't even think that we can manifest shit no more. We think we supposed to be lied to constantly. We think that we supposed to, acquiesce to, no, it's white supremacy. So we got to get our reparations first and then everything will be okay. However, there's a spiritual element to this spiritual awakening or overall time that's going over people's heads. So I'm trying to speak directly to those who have eyes and those who have ears, okay? So another modality to ground yourself. I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds silly, but it works. It'll change your life in a matter of 3 days. And the only reason that I know it's going to change your life, because one, if you do not offer water to trees, you probably are searching for something. You searching for something now. All right. But once you begin to offer water to trees, you will no longer search. You will at least have a direction because your ancestors need water. Okay. Water is the substance of all creation. And they say it all the time. Let me pour out some for my dead homies. Okay. If they can do it in hip hop, you can do it in your backyard. Don't tell me, man, I don't got no trees in my backyard. I live in the projects. It's a tree somewhere, nigga. I don't care where you at. Like, excuse my language, but it's a tree somewhere. Okay? Find a tree, offer it water, give thanks to your ancestors, and thank me later. But don't be insincere with it. But be as basic as you possibly can because your ancestors hear you, your ancestors feel you, but your ancestors cannot be activated without a particular modality of connection. So if you want to ground in all of the cosmic intelligence that the world persists, do you have to go to a lecture where a person is referencing ancient Egypt and geometric technology and Q and, the D wave and all of this extraterrestrial shit? Might be right and exact, but it's too complicated for me. I can get all of that they talking about with a simple relationship with my ancestors that's beyond conversation. If you ain't offering water to trees, I don't know why you're not. Grounding. Well, Hood, I walked into the grass barefoot. I'm grounded, right? No. You got to get a shovel. You got to find some roots. Now, this might be a little harder, but it's not impossible because it's hella forests and things of that nature. Bring a shovel with you, or sometimes the trees have the roots that are like really like up out of the ground. So don't just be barefoot in the grass. I mean, if you don't got shit, if you ain't no trees around you, then by all means, walk barefoot on concrete. You know what I'm saying? Probably get you the same thing because we are using our mind here. Okay, all is mind, right? However, it is the same way as exercising instead of hitting the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it is studies where you can exercise in your mind and lose weight. However, it might be a little bit more effective to hit the gym. So dig a hole close to a tree, plant your bare feet there while you meditate. However, if you don't want to meditate is boring to you, do it while you talking to Bay on FaceTime. Do it while you on your Instagram. Do it, when you just chilling, you want to ground, bare feet on roots. Thank me later, okay? If you meditate without grounding properly, it's like trying to operate your computer without plugging it in. Unless you got a strong battery life, it's going to be hard, okay? It's going to be hard. So these are things that you can actually do. And I'm not going to just go on and on and on about doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, because we're not here for that. When I'm overall trying to get us to see is that once we bring our awareness to the root or to the soil, all the while performing our root lock exercises that are activating our sacral fibers and our conjugal bodies, we are awakening our kundalini outside a point of contention. And why are y'all even doing this? Y'all crazy conscious people? Because we are taking control of our causal body. We are tired of having other people speak for us what we can or can't do. We want to remove all of that and we want to become sovereign. Now, I notice everybody ain't ready for this information, but I could not hold it back. You understand? Like, you can't hold it back. You have to tell people about this, okay? The supplements to take, the supplements that I take, I'll have a story behind each and every one of these supplements. You can get all of these supplements on Amazon, your local Botanica. It's not no magical radical stuff, just basic capsules, okay? Basic capsules. You can get organic, easy to find stuff. Chlorophyll. You can take the chlorophyll liquid or you can take the chlorophyll substances. I started with the liquid. Too messy. I got too many kids. I am good on the liquid. So I take the caplets. I still get the same effect. Because we are talking about this spiritual process that's connected to nature, our diet does not consist of the necessary chlorophyll that we need to actually manifest what it is to be a great and massive tree. However, when you take the supplement of chlorophyll, you will develop the photosynthesis necessary and the connection necessary to be considered grounded within your body. Now, you should have rituals surrounding taking your supplements just so you can begin to take them daily. The hardest part with supplements is that you take them for a couple of days and forget to take them. So in order to feel the effects of chlorophyll and all of these supplements, be sure to have a daily application of these for at least 21 days to consider any real results, because we're not talking about drugs here, family. We're not talking about blue pills or red pills. We're talking about processes. Cayenne pepper. Now there's a 40,000 degree and there's a 100,000 degree. I took the 40,000. Psych. I took the 100,000. And let me tell you, if you do not have a tolerance for heat and spice, take the 40,000 because the 100,000 is powerful. But I'm a G and I drunk a lot of water. But when it comes to activating your root chakra, this is what it takes. I knew that it was a sign because I went into the Botanica on the rando. I think I was doing something for my wife. And lo and behold, the cayenne pepper was like, take me. So I took it and I seen the 40,000 and then I seen the 100,000. It's a heat index. So I got the hottest heat index. And I know I would never in real life. I don't even like spicy food. I'd be like, mild, please. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them type of people. So I don't know what I was thinking. So the cayenne pepper daily though, game changer. Okay. So in one of the slides, it was referencing that this is a process that happens within the blood. You gotta have the cayenne pepper for the activation, the spice and the necessary energy that's going to activate that kundalini. And over time, it is going to increase your fire. You're going to feel it. And this is one of the points that if you're not drinking water, it's going to feel like I done gave you the worst advice ever. So let's be clear on this. Do not take cayenne pepper without water, okay? I mean that from the bottom of my soul. Monatomic gold. A lot of people don't like the concept of calcifying your pineal gland. Whether you like that concept or not, this is activation of the pineal pituitary glands, okay? I know you might not have enough money and things of that nature, but when you do get money, think about these things for helping you actually activate your root chakra internally, because we are talking about an internal process that gives us an external result. Okay, so of course, get your money, get your coins together. All of these products ain't costing hundreds of dollars, maybe $100 if you get all four of these things at the most. So monatomic gold is for the brain, is for the upper level. The cayenne pepper is for the lower level. The chlorophyll is for a whole body experience. And finally, most importantly, and if you don't got no money to get none of those above supplements, I'm sure you can make it work with hydrated water. The first time I activated my root chakra, I ain't have none of this. All I did have, though, was that water. And, you know, it's really important to drink good water. So do your research on Dasani, companies like Evian and Poland Spring, all of that weird stuff. Get you some good water, hydrate your cells. And please, I'm going to repeat this one last time. If you are taking the cayenne pepper, I got to remove that. If you take that cayenne pepper, please, please, please drink water. And once you put all of these things together over time, you will no longer be confused on what it means to activate your root chakra. I hope I was clear. And like I said, we're not done with the presentation, but my portion is done because I'm not here for a long time today. I'm here for a good time. So thank you guys for, you know, being studious. A couple of people left, but most of the people stayed. So hopefully it was good to you. And for now, we're going to take a time for Prime Harmonics guided meditation. If you don't know, Prime Harmonic is one of my good friends, one of my great advisors, mentors. He keeps me grounded. He keeps me focused. And I could only think of one person to help us, you know, guide us into this meditation, guide us into this transformation. And so like you, I'm going to be aware, conscious, and just listen to him as he begins to teach us and help us, you know, in this actual journey. Be sure to listen to this meditation as many